This episode of the Wayang Crew podcast is brought to you by Times Cineplex. Hey, welcome back yet again to another episode of the Wayang Crew podcast. It's me, Kev, once again on this weekly show where we talk about all things movies, especially movies that are playing here in Brunei Darussalam. This week we'll be talking about a movie called Happy Death Day to You, which is a sequel to a movie that came out, I think, 2 years ago.
Yeah, something like that.
Happy Death Day. But first, let's get to our co-host. It's Del. He's back.
I am. Have I been away?
Yes.
Yeah.
Where have I been?
You've been getting an arts degree.
You've been off the
An
podcast
underground
for a
arts
while.
degree.
Yeah.
What?
Right.
Taking photos?
So yeah, I've been in Kuching, KL.
So you've been like all over the like Borneo and like the
Not all over, but I've been to 2 cities in Malaysia. Yes, it was a very tiring trip. I was standing for like 10 hours a day, and my foot got swollen.
Your feet got swollen.
One
Because
foot.
you were walking all day?
No, I was standing all day.
Oh.
It's tough getting that art degree.
Yeah, I know.
It's so
It's
underground
it's a sign of old age.
in the subway.
Is your foot still swollen?
It is still reddish a little bit.
Maybe
Yeah.
it's your shoes, not your
Yeah.
age.
No, the shoe's fine.
No, I don't
It's
think
the
so.
It's the age. Up next, it's the other co-host of the podcast. It's Kai.
What's up, guys? How's it going?
Sab, how are you?
I got some bad news.
Which is
No.
I woke up this morning like totally feeling alive, and then I checked my weight. I gained like 1.8 kilograms.
That's nothing.
that's
Nah,
water weight.
No,
Yeah.
it's like a lot for me, guys.
No.
It's been a long road.
That's like
You
1/5
could lose
of
that in a few days.
a sack of rice.
Well, I don't know anymore, Kev. I can't eat anymore, right?
Right. We've got a big week coming ahead for us.
For you guys, yeah, you guys have a show coming up.
What do you mean, you guys?
I'll be hunting. I'd like to announce that I got a new career. I'll be hunting Komodo dragons.
Oh my gosh.
Right.
No, we got a show coming up
Inside
in
jokes.
5 days.
Yeah.
On the 1st of March, 2019.
Yeah, it's gonna be our biggest show ever. There's 600 packs coming in. It's gonna be in a big hall. We are not excited. We're very nervous
I have never been less ready in my life.
For anything.
for anything. No, he's right. Like
Actually, yeah.
I thought I was unprepared for the O levels. Nailed it, but this one I'm not too sure.
You'll nail it. Anyway, up next, she's back. It's Naz. It's the other co-host of the podcast. You've been missing for a long, long time.
Yeah, I have.
How are
Really?
you?
I'm good. No, I'm sick. I'm not good.
The podcast hasn't seen you since last year.
Oh, really?
Really? No,
So
I-
does that joke still apply?
Since 2018.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Welcome
Oh,
back.
It's been a year.
It's been a year. I
Yeah.
mean, we've seen you like off the
Yeah.
podcast, but the listeners, they're like, oh, who's this? Oh, I forgot. Oh, yeah, there was this girl.
Yeah, that's me. Hi.
Nazu, she's back. You're in the show this coming week as well?
Yeah.
Possibly, yeah?
Yeah, for just a few minutes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you are listening to this in the future, then you'll probably know what happened. If you're listening to this
We
before the
killed
show,
it.
yes. So let's act like we killed it. All right,
Amazing.
you guys were awesome.
Oh yeah, so I just
Oh my
I just got off the phone with Netflix. Crazy deal.
What?
Right, so you have like a season coming up, right?
No, I'm getting 15 specials.
Nice. All right, so let's get to the first bit of this show, which is the news. And this week we have quite a bit of news. First up, did you guys check out the trailer for the upcoming Elton John fantasy biopic, Rocketman?
Yeah, I watched that.
Fantasy?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
apparently it's not fully 100% autobiographical.
It's not real.
Well, of course, but then to call it a fantasy?
Um,
Fantasy is like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, so I'm guessing Elton John is
Got
inspired
high.
by a musical dragon or that.
Because there are scenes
Or
in
a
the trailer
Komodo
where
dragon.
like everyone on the street is dancing and sort of
Maybe he was dreaming.
maybe he was just
Or he
you
was
know,
fantasizing.
he was flying.
Yeah, and then he played piano underwater.
I
Yeah.
don't think that happened.
In
No.
his dreams, it did.
All right, which is why it's a fantasy biopic.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, are you excited
Okay.
to see this?
Yes.
Anyone?
I'm
indifferent.
Same. Like,
See, we were right on last week's episode, Kai, where this movie is coming out on the same day as Godzilla King of the Monsters. And Del doesn't like big monsters and Godzilla, so he's going to watch this.
I will watch this one breakfast.
And then he's gonna walk out and he go, that wasn't good. And then he's gonna pay another ticket and watch Godzilla.
I'll tell you what, this first poster of Rocketman is so good. Like the best poster I've seen
For Rocket Man.
for this year, which isn't saying much because it's only February.
Yeah.
This may surprise us. We don't know, right?
What, Rocket Man?
Yeah, it might be good.
We will only know like the day after Godzilla comes out.
Okay. Up next, we've got this bit of news, which is not surprising, I guess, and it's that Aquaman is now officially one of the highest grossing movies of all time. So it is now the 20th highest grossing movie ever, bumping off Transformers Dark of the Moon, and its total box office gross worldwide is $1.13 billion, and it has the potential to maybe bump off the number 19 spot, which belongs to Captain America Civil War.
Good gosh.
No.
It's only $23 million away.
No. What? Don't do this, Aqua.
This is surprising. It got like a big push
Civil
from
War.
Asia and
Is it?
China
Oh, it's obviously it's from Asia.
Yeah.
because we like seafood. What?
I was gonna celebrate, like, yay for bumping off Dark of the
Whoa,
Moon.
whoa. Dark of the Moon is one of the better ones.
Yeah.
It was the one with Shockwave. You guys remember that scene in Chernobyl? It like Shockwave popped up and Optimus was there and it was like Optimus Prime. And
Everything looked the same after the second one.
Yeah. It was like a mess of gears and shiny bits. I'm
and
like,
robotic facial hair.
exactly.
But to take the spot of Civil War,
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about that.
I
My boy,
Yeah.
Chris.
No.
Come on, Jason, don't do this.
It's not up to him.
Yeah, he could pull out the film. You know what I mean? Like,
What?
he'd be like, "Yeah, it's done." You know? And,
All right, I'm finished.
yeah, all right.
There has been a lot of back and forth about this bit of news that's coming up next, which is that Ben Affleck is saying goodbye to the role of Batman.
Yeah.
Right? So there was some hope where he may sort of just
Yeah.
step away for a while and come back later. But now I think it's pretty much confirmed because he has been on the talk show circuits and he sort of confirmed, like, I tried to crack it, but I couldn't. And now Zack Snyder's chimed in and he put up like a Instagram post
Zack
of him
Snyder.
of him in his desert
Nightmare suit.
nightmare suit, and it was the lines from
The opening of BVS.
the opening of BVS, and this is pretty much a goodbye. Like, it's confirmed now. So
Yeah.
both Zack Snyder and Ben Affleck are out of the DCEU for the foreseeable future.
Now, if only Zack Snyder would just shut up about Justice League and DC.
He's still teasing that Zack Snyder cut. You know that, right?
I don't know what he's doing.
No, I'm sorry.
Just focus
The-
on his new project.
The Snyder cut of Justice League.
League.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not affected by this news anymore because the news cycle is just dominated by all these rumors and reports
Yeah.
of a potential Batman.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like this week, we got another chime that Arnie Hammer is back in contention
Yeah.
to be a Batman, which is something we talked about last year here on the show. At this point, I don't really care.
Yeah. I don't know if Armie Hammer could nail the role.
Right.
No, it's not working. Hammer and nail. All right.
Oh.
Yeah, okay, there it is.
Okay.
She's
Too
just got
clever.
it.
It's too clever for a Sunday for some
Yeah,
people.
no, I'm a bit of a genius.
I think
No, I don't know. Armie Hammer just does not have Batman written on him.
No, he
There are
doesn't.
some people you see and you go, okay, yeah, this guy
He
could
can
be
be
Batman.
Batman. Like, he's Bruce Wayne.
Who? Armie
No, I
Hammer?
mean, like, no.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
for
yeah,
some
yeah.
people, you know, you look at him, it's like, that's Bruce Wayne.
But like not Armie Hammer. I'm not sure. Okay, John Hamm could do Batman. Honestly.
Well, he could do a very good Bruce Wayne and then
Yeah.
sort of fill in as best he can for Batman. Yeah.
But I'm not sure about Armie Hammer.
I don't think they want someone as old as.
No, they're going
Nah.
for young, definitely.
According-
Jesse Eisenberg, I think.
According to the report I read, they're looking for someone around 20 years younger than the current Batman.
Which is so basically
So if Ben Affleck's like 50, right?
Ben Affleck is 47.
Sorry, 47. So he's
27-year-old?
No, that's too
Yeah.
young. That's
Way
like
too
our
young.
my age.
Yeah, no, that's way too young.
Yeah.
origin story.
Christian
Solo
Bale
movie.
was like 32 when he became Batman.
Well, I don't know what direction they're gonna
Oh,
take.
are they gonna take like the Gotham direction?
Oh,
where
didn't they
he's,
might as well
like-
cast that kid from Gotham? Wait another 10 years.
Just wait, right?
Yeah.
Just keep us on the hook and start
Yeah.
releasing rumors every week.
like release 1 second a year.
Here's something that's not a rumor anymore. It's Captain Marvel, and there have been advanced screenings for reviewers and critics, and first reactions praised this movie as surprising and super bad.
What?
Super bad.
Oh,
Like-
so it's like one end of the
Oh,
spectrum.
right. Super bad, as in it's like, yeah, that was
That was so bad, it was so good, you know?
right,
Yeah.
right.
Are you serious?
Does not make sense.
Huh.
It's a word that I can't say on the podcast.
Yeah.
No, but then
Bad blank. Bad.
You
blank.
can't say it's so bad that it is good because that means something else entirely.
It's rad. The word you're looking for is rad.
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 The
Yeah.
movie's so rad.
Yeah.
I
Right.
don't
Yeah.
get. Oh, because it's like old,
There's a 90s reference for you.
Yeah, it's rad, man.
radical.
Radical, man.
Oh, is it trippy?
So they say that it's trippy. They say that the cat steals the show, and then they say apparently there's 2 post credits, one of which is just like a throwaway one, but one is super important.
And a couple of the
I
actors
guess
who
what it
we
is.
have not seen in any of the trailers, like Ben Mendelsohn,
Yeah.
he's gotten a lot of praise. It's like he's one of the
Yeah.
standout characters,
Yeah.
along with Brie Larson.
Oh, Academy Award.
What about Jude Law?
Nothing
Priorities.
nothing here about Jude Law.
Yeah.
But I
so
thought he would
surprisingly-
be Marvel.
no, so he's apparently something else.
Oh.
Yeah, he's not Marvel.
That movie's coming out on March 6th right here
Yep.
in Brunei Darussalam, and there is a special screening organized by Fanboys Infinite, which
Yeah.
I'm
Nice.
going.
I think we're all going.
Oh
So.
no,
Yeah.
it's next.
I'm not.
Next
Oh,
week.
you're
yeah.
not.
Well, have fun though.
All
I
right.
am because I get a freebie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We were tying up with a partner to give out freebies. Details will come.
Sooner or later. Sticking with the Marvel Universe, Spider-Ham will have a short film that will be included in the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse home release.
I love Spider-Ham.
Yeah, the short film is called Spider-Ham Caught in a Ham.
That's funny.
So obviously he's voiced by John Mulaney.
Yeah.
Very recognizable voice.
Yeah.
Very comical voice, I should say. And yeah, I mean, I've already pre-ordered my Blu-ray for this. So
Yeah, you love this film.
Yes, I do.
Yeah,
I
me
get it.
too.
It is coming
I
out
see it.
on the 19th of March.
Would you say it's better than
Homecoming.
Infinity War?
No, it's not better than Infinity
It's not
War.
better than
I wouldn't compare it to.
No, but it is better than Homecoming.
Yes.
Yes.
It is
By
better than
leaps
Homecoming.
and
Yes.
bounds.
Would you say it's better than Black Panther?
Huh. That is an interesting question.
That is a very interesting question.
I would put it
Yes.
slightly above Black Panther.
Slightly
Yeah.
above. Yeah.
Yeah.
In terms of originality, it's way better.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
And also because the animation is just so well done, whereas the CG in Black Panther was a bit like I saw a bit recently, and I was like, no wait, that CG is not that great.
yeah.
Yeah.
You can sort of tell.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And there was some talk about Sony trying to patent that
Animation style.
method of animation.
That makes
Right.
sense.
So there were a couple of methods that they used, and part of the news this week is that they have made one of those or two of those methods open source.
Nice.
So anyone can do. I think it's the Ditko dot thing and
Yeah.
the shifting aspect
Yeah.
thing.
Oh.
So I guess Sony's playing nice with everyone.
Yeah, I think they know they won.
They won the animation
They're
game,
like, we have conquered.
and then when they win the Oscar, they'll
For
just
best animation.
they'll just let everyone.
Yeah.
do it.
They're like, oh, it's okay, we won first. What y'all gonna do?
Here's someone who's very well known in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's Chris Hemsworth, who plays, of course, Thor. He's going to be playing Hulk Hogan in a new biopic.
Yeah,
I can see that.
I
You can
saw
see
that
it?
news. Yeah.
Put in that yellow mustache.
Yeah, big
And long
white
hair.
blonde man playing
Yeah.
another
Has
big
to get
white
a-
blonde man.
He'll have
He's
to
a
bleach
bigger,
his all his hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did in the first Thor.
Yeah.
Yes, they did. Yeah.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting that because I've blocked it out of my head.
Really?
Why?
Because he had
That
like
was-
yellow eyebrows.
Yeah, but that was like the
So
best
good.
Thor.
Yes.
I
Best
guess.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't really
Another.
find him attractive back then.
Yeah, that's what they all say. And then they watch the Avengers.
And then they went, ooh.
Stupid guy is cute.
This is a Netflix movie. Did you guys know
The
that?
Hulk Hogan one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is another thing where they're partnering with like another film company, which is WWE
Films.
Right.
and they're making this. There is another WWE film that just hit theaters overseas, and
Oh,
it's Fighting with My Family.
Yeah, it's produced by The Rock. It's
Yeah.
about Paige, the British wrestler.
And it's the story of how she became,
Yeah.
part of the WWE.
And it's been getting rave reviews.
Yeah, and by all accounts, like I've been watching a couple of reviews, I read some, and everyone says that this is one of the greatest movies that they've seen in a while. Like character-wise, and with the dialogue, everything's very quick. Nick Frost is
It's
tremendously funny.
It's made by Stephen Merchant.
Yeah.
The guy who played Caliban,
Caliban.
in Logan. Also, if we're on the
He's
trivia...
a comedian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If we're on the trivia train, Hulk Hogan founded what is now known as Pastamania.
What?
No.
Yes, the restaurant Pastamania,
Which we have in Brunei,
was originally founded by Hulk Hogan.
which does not taste very well.
I mean, I buried
That's
it
open
there.
to opinion.
Yeah, but so Hulk Hogan founded the chain of restaurants that is now known as Pastamania.
Are you serious?
I'm not even making that up.
I'm gonna Wikipedia
Wait,
this.
is
Go
it
ahead.
American?
Yes, so it was called Hulka Pastamania because there was that whole Hulkamania thing
Yeah.
happening back then.
Yeah.
And then he ran it for like I want to say like 5 or 6 years, and he's like, nah, it's not for
So
me.
they sold it.
He sold it, and he was rebranded into Pastamania, and then that's where we are.
Oh, so he doesn't get any more royalties.
No, it's like Kenny Rogers Roasters. Kenny Rogers doesn't get
Right.
anything.
Oh.
Right. So okay. So he doesn't hold any royalties in his company.
No, I know too much about celebrity restaurants.
It's weird.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
Interesting.
Here's something that sort of sparked my love of movies back in the early 90s. Well, no, sorry, the mid 90s. It's Kevin Smith, and he, came up with a lot of movies like Mallrats and
Chasing Amy.
Yeah, Chasing Amy, Jay and Silent Bob. Jay and Silent Bob is getting a film reboot, and it has already started production.
Yeah.
Apparently. He put it up
so-
on his Twitter
So it was supposed to be Clerks 3. Then it was supposed to be Mallrats 2.
because Clerks 2 was not great.
But it was okay.
It was
I thought
yeah.
it tied up
Yeah.
that old
It was
universe.
okay, but it
yeah.
was not great.
And then it was supposed to be Mallrats 2, and then none of the funding went through. And turns out there was some rights issues with Clerks and Mallrats. And he realized that the only characters he truly owned was Jay and Silent Bob.
Because
Really?
it's him and
Whoa.
his best friend.
Yeah. So he's self-funding this, I think.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
Well, he made Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back, and that was made like on the cheap. And
And that was funny.
And it was a cult. It is a cult classic.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
there's a lot of like cameos in there. Jon Stewart was in there.
Mark Hamill was in there.
Will Ferrell was in there.
Yes. Here's also another fun fact. Wow, I'm just on a trivia train today. In the movie Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, they go to Hollywood because someone's making a movie about them. And then-
Someone bought the rights to the
to
comic books.
Bluntman and Chronic,
Yeah,
yeah.
Bluntman and Chronic. Yeah.
And then there's a joke shot of director Mark Steven Johnson directing a Daredevil movie.
Whoa.
2 years later, Mark Steven Johnson got the gig to direct a Daredevil movie with
Really?
Ben Affleck. Yes.
So we should be making spoofs and like just asking everyone to just
Yeah.
fill in as directors.
Yeah.
Who knows, right?
Yeah. So that's what happened.
That's what happened. Here's something where I don't know what happened. It's Space Jam 2. We talked about this over the last couple of weeks. Like, it was announced that LeBron James is going to be starring in this movie. It is being produced by the guy who brought us Black Panther,
Ryan Coogler, yeah.
Coogler.
Yeah.
This now has a release date of July 16, 2021.
Isn't that the same week as that new Batman movie?
I think so.
Yeah.
So you've got
luck.
LeBron James and Bugs Bunny going up against Batman.
If it was Batman and Bugs Bunny, the choice was so easy.
Well, they are the same studio.
I don't get why we need Space Jam 2.
Oh.
You don't get.
Why would the studio put these two movies out together
I don't know.
on the same weekend?
I don't know.
So that the
It doesn't make sense.
teenagers to adults can watch Batman, and then
One-
the kids can
I
watch.
think it's
though.
also
One
because
of these movies will move.
I think it's also because Marvel has not claimed any date in 2021.
Oh, not
So
yet.
everyone's just going nuts picking dates.
They're just saving the parking spot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so everyone's going nuts, and then Marvel's gonna announce Fantastic Four and X-Men, and then everyone's gonna start crying.
Okay then.
Because then everyone's like, okay, we are not worthy.
Yeah, and then the Ben Affleck is back as Batman.
Here's a movie that is
Ben
coming.
Affleck
sorry.
playing Mr. Fantastic.
What?
No.
Oh, wait.
Nah, he's
No.
Really?
Because
No?
when they talk about Doom, he'll be like, if there's a 1% chance he's our enemy, we have to take it as
Nope.
an absolute certainty.
Nope.
Because he sounds like that. He's not.
Nah,
Nah.
he can play Mr.
Nah,
Fantastic.
John Krasinski would be a great Mr. Fantastic.
Which leads me to my next story, exactly, which is about A Quiet Place and how it's getting a sequel. And it's bringing back John Krasinski, of course, who wrote, directed, and acted in the first movie, and his wife, Emily Blunt, playing his wife on screen. That is happening, and they expect to release in May of 2020.
Yeah. So what's this one called?
I have no idea. There's no title for this.
I think it's called A Quieter Place.
A very quiet place.
A Quiet Placer.
So quiet.
Yeah, so quiet.
A
I
quiet
don't know.
place, so quiet.
I don't know if we needed a
A
sequel.
quiet.
Well, it ended up, and it did set itself up for a sequel. They figure out how to beat the monsters.
Oh, maybe they'll like collab with the other people around the world.
Yeah, because
Maybe.
we did see like other houses in the distance.
And then
Yeah.
Sandra Bullock pops up. Boom.
Whoa!
Whoa.
Mind blown.
A Quiet Bird Box. Boom. What?
Nice.
Yeah,
I would watch that.
mind blown.
I would watch that.
Yeah, Quiet Bird Box.
Quiet Bird Box. Here's something Kai would definitely watch. It's Godzilla, King of the Monsters. It's coming out in May, and we just had a TV spot which showed us just 30 seconds, but we saw a couple of new shots and scenes. There is going to be a lot of monsters in this movie.
I'm so excited. It's ridiculous.
They've teased and they've mentioned like there's going to be 15 kaiju, right? Like 15 monsters.
So what I'm guessing what it is, right? It's like they're gonna highlight the fact that this MonsterVerse has 15 kaijus in total.
Oh,
But
okay.
we're gonna see the main four, which is Rodan, Mothra, Ghidorah, and Godzilla.
That's better because I was about to say it's 10 monsters too many.
You're free to watch Rocketman on the same day, Del.
I will.
You will. Here's something that I want to gauge on whether or not you guys would watch this. It's the Avatar sequels.
Oh yeah. How many are we getting? 4? We're still getting 4?
The plan is still to get 4, so that's Avatar 2 to 5.
No way.
Yes.
James Cameron has just revealed the first ever details of Avatar 2, and it is supposed to be set sometime after the events of the first film. And Jake and Neytiri,
Neytiri.
they have a child.
2 childs, no?
Is it 2?
Oh, that's Avatar 3. Sorry.
It's
This is 2.
children.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have an 8-year-old daughter
Yeah.
who witnesses a marital argument between her parents that serves as a pivotal moment in this film.
Nice.
What?
Love
So-
it. Love it.
So the central character is going to be
A child, yeah.
child,
Yeah.
like a child blue thing.
Yeah. Whoa. Hate speech.
It's
A
called,
human Navi hybrid child.
I forgot their names. I'm sorry.
It's called a
Navi.
Navuman.
it's called a Navi.
No. He's not
He's
a
not
human.
a hybrid anymore.
He changed. He moved his consciousness to
Yes,
but
but-
that
Yeah,
body
he's still-
is
That
That body
biologically
is still,
engineered.
yeah, synthetic.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's not asli. It's not original.
No, it's not.
It's not original, but that doesn't mean he's.
But his genetics are still human.
It's a really good copy,
yeah.
Oh.
It's
Whoa.
it's asking so many. It's asking the right questions.
which are
Like, how would an 8-year-old human Navi hybrid react to seeing a marital
Oh,
argument?
so she's like mentally human then, not
yeah,
like,
I think emotionally she's fully formed as a human being.
well, if you think about it, Jake, right? He is essentially half human and half Navi at this point in the story,
Yeah.
and then Neytiri is full Navi,
Yeah.
which would mean that their children are only a quarter human.
Yeah.
But English, they speak English, so that's another 25%.
They speak English.
They do. No, there's that translator thing.
and they ride dragons and
yeah.
Oh,
sure.
okay.
It's not a dragon, it's a wyvern.
sure.
A wyvern is a kind of dragon, though.
Well, yeah, but then.
Like the genus.
But in this movie,
But a wyvern is a dragon. Dragon is not a wyvern.
Guys, this is on a different planet. Can we not like humanize these things?
speaking of different planets, I love this week. We're just rolling on the news here.
Yeah.
Star Wars Episode 9. It's said
Wrapped
that
up.
the first trailer will drop at Star Wars Celebration, which is happening from April 11th to 15th in Chicago.
Yep.
And we actually know someone who might be going.
Yep.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is it Kai?
I
No,
don't
it's
know.
Del.
What? Who's sponsoring this trip?
Yeah.
Who's getting me the entrance
but
tickets?
But then it's the same thing with The Last Jedi. The
Yeah.
moment it played, it's online.
Yes.
Right? So I couldn't really brag
It was
about
actually like a live event on YouTube.
Yeah, it
and
No, there might be like a day or a week delay.
No, but
No.
The Last Jedi
No.
was on
it was simultaneous. Like
Okay.
when they played it at
Oh yeah,
Celebration.
that's right.
Because I was watching it at midnight.
Yep.
And we were on the
we
text,
were,
yeah.
we
Yeah.
were. It's the Avengers one that's not.
No,
Yeah.
yeah,
it's not-
yeah.
That's right.
It's the Avengers.
Are we still excited for this movie? We don't
Episode
have
9?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I was indifferent, and then I saw that picture of Oscar Isaac, Daisy Ridley, and John Boyega, and I was like, you know, I do like share this journey with them, right? Because they're our age, and then they got to be part of this global phenomenon. So if anything, I just want to see how JJ wraps it up, lah.
He'll do a good job. That goes without saying.
Abrams is a genius.
It's a
Excited to see
Wow.
Poe.
just like you. Since we are talking Star Wars, one of the key people who has left the franchise, who was sadly killed off in The Force Awakens, is Harrison Ford's character. He hasn't been around much since then. I mean, he hasn't made many appearances for any movies, but he is coming back to do his first ever animation debut. He will be the voice of a character on the upcoming Life of Pets 2.
What?
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
I saw the trailer and it really is him. It's his
Yeah,
voice.
it's his voice.
Wow.
He plays a dog by the name of Rooster who lives on a farm. He's like one of those herder dogs.
Oh.
It's interesting because he's got a, you know,
leave the farm.
he's got like that weathered old voice.
Yeah, he's
It's a
gross.
straight laced, no nonsense.
Yeah, he's a grandpa basically.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's a great.
yeah.
Get
yeah.
off my lawn.
Get off my lawn.
Is he?
Maybe
Is
he'll
he-
be like an Indiana Jones dog.
I don't know. Will he have a hat, you mean? Or a whip? His tail will be a whip.
Yeah. They're making Indiana Jones 5, aren't they?
Yes,
Are
they
they?
are.
Oh.
It's in the works, but it's supposed to be a passing of the torch.
Yeah.
We
To
talked
the
about this. It
sun.
could be two
He's
parallel
too old
timelines.
to run.
Yeah.
Too old to run?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Didn't
his fault.
how the Force works.
He
didn't
can't
he
even-
injure himself seriously on the set of Force Awakens?
He did.
Like a door fell
the
on
door
his-
of the
yeah.
Millennium Falcon cockpit fell on his leg.
Yeah, and he was in the cast for like
Yeah.
weeks.
And
but
then J.J. Abrams, who's obviously my boy, he panicked and then he tried pulling the door manually because the switch wasn't working.
like it jammed.
Yeah, and then he pulled his own back and I had to go for
So the both of them.
physio. Yeah, and then the production got fined millions of dollars because
Yeah.
of this oversight.
like unsafe working environment.
So
kind
like
of
they
thing.
made $2.2 billion at the box office, and the High Court of Britain was like, "Wait a second, mate, we got a bit of that," and they got like,
Hey, we've got labour laws in this
Yeah.
country,
so they got like,
and you broke one of them
yeah,
by breaking his foot.
he got like 10 to 15 million pound fine.
Really?
Yeah, it's a big one.
The production of Star Wars,
Force
which was
Awakens, yeah.
shot in Pinewood, right?
Pinewood, Britain, yeah.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I did not know this.
HSE.
Ta-da!
Pinch point.
Ta-da!
Yeah.
I don't. That no, that's not exactly a pinch
It's
point.
not
It's a
pinch, it's
pinch
like
point,
get
but
caught.
it's also
Foot got caught.
It also warrants a sign: "Do not work under suspended load."
Yeah, that's true.
Here's another fun fact. When they were shooting Force Awakens on the island of Skellig Miguel, which is the Octo planet where
yeah.
Luke was discovered, Mark Hamill almost fell off all the steps.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
The ones that they built, right?
No, because those are natural rock formations.
Oh, okay.
And then to preserve that, the government of Ireland did not build any rails on it. So there's behind the scenes of like The Last Jedi and The Force Awakens where they had a helicopter land at the top of the mountain, and then they cabled everything down so people had something to pull up as they were going up.
Right. Okay. So they had like a line to.
Yeah.
to
So
grab
apparently
onto.
Mark Hamill's one slipped,
Okay.
and that could have been a very different story.
Wow.
But
always,
like,
always hold a handrail.
and then
Yep. Starkiller base has
man.
no handrail as well. That's
And
why.
then-
HSE.
what was it? I think 3 or 4 of the grips. They were like, oh, and then they kind of just buckled up, and then they grabbed him as he fell. And then
So he was lucky.
he was very lucky.
He
yeah.
would not survive that
No,
fall.
no one would.
Not at that age as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the news this week on the Wayang Crew podcast. Tell us what you think of the news, or if you have some cool news to share with us via our contact links down below, which leads us to our review this week of a movie called Happy Death Day to You. Let's give it to Del for a quick sort of synopsis of this movie.
It starts off with a
Ryan fan.
she has what Ryan, right?
Yeah, Ryan fan.
Ryan.
Ryan, yeah, which is the roommate of the guy,
Carter.
which the girl,
Carter.
Tess.
so bad.
Tree.
Tree's new boyfriend's roommate. He is the one that begins to experience this phenomenon of
Reliving
being
the day.
yeah
the
loop.
recurring day.
Yeah.
The Groundhog Day syndrome.
And so he went and tell Tree, and they then set off on an adventure to find out what is happening, which led to some scientific explanation and a device that kind of
Manipulate time.
not really, but put them in this loop. That's why and then there's an alternate universe as well.
Oh yeah.
So
Like
a
a
lot of
multiverse.
sci-fi elements came into this one.
Yeah.
And then the killer is back, and
Guess
they
who's
had
back?
to find out who it is this time.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's in an alternate universe and it's a different person.
Yeah, it's not the same killer
Yeah.
as the first movie.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks for that, Del. Yeah, like what you said, this is a follow-up essentially of the first movie. Like it picks up right where the first movie leaves off.
Yep.
So it is kind of important that you have watched the first movie
Yeah.
Yeah.
to sort of understand where this movie is going.
Yeah.
What did you think of the movie in general, Kai?
This is so crazy because this is slightly spoilerish. The main character Tree, she recounts what happened in the first movie in like a series of flashbacks / exposition.
So good.
As
Yeah.
that happened, I was like, I don't remember any of this. Then I remembered I didn't finish the film.
Oh my god.
Oh,
I was like, I don't remember that. Wait, the roommate was the killer. Lori was the killer. No, what? Oh, I didn't finish it. So, if you've not watched the first one, I wouldn't recommend watching this. But
That's like a rookie mistake, man.
yeah, no, intelligence was never a strong suit.
Says the genius.
Avatar 2 is gonna make $1 billion. I don't know. Okay, so I was under the impression. I was under the wrong impression. The first one had like a very edgy dark comedy angle to it. And this one, that didn't really kick in until maybe like 30-40% into the film.
Yeah.
When they started doing montages of how she died, and the next time she came back alive, it was like a reminiscent of the previous one, like the bleach, the electrocution. So I was a bit lost tonally in the film, and then I felt a bit gypped because I was really hoping Ryan would be the main angle through which we see this, the time loop.
Which is what they let on in the trailers.
I didn't see the trailer,
Okay.
so
Yeah.
I was...
So in the trailers, it focuses on Ryan, the Asian American kid, who we assume was going to be the central character of this movie.
Yeah.
But like you said, like it pivots very suddenly back to Tree.
Yeah, and I was like, what? And overall, I thought it had some interesting concepts, like the quote-unquote the multiverse, about how she's in an alternate reality where her mother is alive.
It's like a parallel universe.
Yeah.
So if she got bumped into this universe where things are different and her mom's alive, then imagine what the other one's going through, because now she's in a universe where her mom's not around. Yeah.
I think my slight problem with this film is that what is her purpose as a character, except for the fact that she's just going to save her best friend. So I thought it would have been nicer if she just kind of bumped around the different universes and stopped the killing in each of those before she finds her way back to where she's supposed to be.
That's the third movie.
That's the third movie.
Right. Because, there's a lot of references to Back to the Future in this one.
Yeah.
And with Back to the Future, Marty had specific goals he had to achieve before he can go back to where he was. So, I don't know. It was okay. I thought it was okay.
It was okay. Naz?
I didn't like it as much as the first movie. Like, it didn't have that horror feeling. This was like...
Because they scienced it up.
Yeah, they scienced
very
it up.
early in the movie.
Yeah.
Too early, I think. But I do like how she could redeem herself in the new multiverse.
Yeah,
and
she learned like a lesson.
Yeah,
and
because she's a lot nicer now compared to like back then. But I also liked how her
like sorority housemate. Yeah.
Danielle is different here.
But kind of the same as
kind
well.
Kind of the same, but just a bit more sneaky.
So she's all nice outside, but then she's actually sort of the same.
Yeah, still the same.
Okay, Del, any thoughts from your side?
I like how, apart from the science of it all, which was a lot of mumbo jumbo, the pacing, it's quite fast because it didn't explain what's happening, or like the Ryan character come in and not believing what Tree had to tell him, right? Because once she told him, he's like, okay, I'm still dreaming, I need to wake up. So he made a joke and then we can just move on rather than him going in a disbelief kind of trip.
Yeah.
It would have taken too much and too long to get to where we need to go in the story. So I really like how fast paced it is, and as well, it's not like a rehash of the first movie. Like Na said, she already learned her lesson and she's a different person now, so she's seeing things very differently in this alternate universe. But there's still that Groundhog Day feel, the Back to the Future feel as well. So as a story, I thought it was quite refreshing from the first one. It was also a very well told, well directed movie where, like I said, it's quite fast paced. So you don't feel bored watching it.
Like it doesn't lag, it doesn't dip. Yeah.
And the best part comes in when it's about her and her mother, right? And there's this angle of emotion which played out really, really well. So overall, I really liked it. It's a very strong follow-up to the first movie.
Yeah, okay. I actually thought this movie was a very good movie based on the first movie. Like, if you looked at these two movies, the first and second, you see where they were going. Yes, there was a shift and they made it more of a science fiction comedy, dark comedy thing, where the first movie, like Naz mentioned, it was more thriller and you didn't know why it was happening, but it was just happening. Now they explain it in the second movie. And I have to say that they do set it up for a potential third. Where it becomes like now the government's involved, DARPA's there, they have his machine, and they're like, show us how it works. And I'm like, okay, so where is this going? Like the next movie could potentially be a global scale thing. Who knows?
Yeah.
Did you guys stay for the end credits?
Yeah.
We stayed for the end credits. I thought that the actors in this movie interacted better.
Yeah, so much better
than the first one. Because the first one, yes, the main central plot of the story was that the day keeps resetting, right? So it's her alone and she's trying to explain it to people and only I think one person believes her, which is Carter.
Yeah.
In this movie, there's a whole group of them.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
these group of science kids who are the ones responsible for opening that time loop, and then they very quickly get on board with him. So it's kind of like that movie 50 First Dates.
Yeah, that's a good film.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
good
yeah.
film, the Adam Sandler film where Drew Barrymore forgets on a
Yeah.
daily basis and she has to be reminded every day. This sort of hunkens to that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And I like what you mentioned, like there's a lot of parallels to Back to the Future and
Yeah.
some of the time travel stuff. Although it doesn't really explain the same theories as in one linear timeline. This is more like a parallel universe thing or a multiverse, like Naz mentioned. But there were some references and they were nice because me and Kai saw some of them. Like there was a wood chipper machine and it said Biff's wood chipping.
Yeah.
Like that's a Back to the Future thing. Like Biff's
Yeah.
Biff is one of the I guess
The bully?
villains.
Yeah.
The bully.
Yeah.
Hey, McFly!
Hello, anyone home?
Oh yeah, he knocks the head, doesn't
Yeah,
he?
yeah.
Overall, this movie I think is a good movie. It's not awesome by any measure.
Yeah.
I'll say that. But for a good hour and 40 minutes in the cinema, it's not draggy, it's not laggy.
It's fun.
It would have been better if you watched the first film and,
Yeah.
remembered certain things about it, which gets explained better in the second film. And I guess it's an overall nice tie-in for the two movies to sort of end where it did. We're not going to give like very much away, although
There's not much to give away.
yeah,
Yeah.
we kind of have said what we can say about this movie, which leads us to ratings. Del, what do you give this movie?
I would give it 7.5.
7.5.
7.5. I don't know. Time traveling device.
Sissies.
Sissy. That's right.
Sissies.
That's what they
7.5
were called,
sissies. Kai?
I would give this 6.5 poison cupcakes.
Okay, from the first film.
Yeah, it's just because I didn't finish the first one.
Yeah.
so you stopped it there.
Wow.
Naz?
I would give it a 7.5 pajama shirt.
Something she didn't really like, but she had to change out of it.
Yeah.
I will give this movie a solid 7 time loops out of 10. It's an overall decent movie, like we've explained. It's still showing in local cinemas. It's a very good follow-up to the first movie,
one,
Happy Death Day. This is a Happy Death Day to You. And this sort of just proves that Blumhouse Productions is really upping their game slowly and incrementally, because
Yeah.
their stories now are making a lot more sense. And what really opened my eyes to a Blumhouse production was Upgrade.
Oh, that was Blumhouse.
That was Blumhouse,
Yeah,
and
forgot.
it seems like they're very versatile in doing.
They're upgrading their portfolio.
They used to be known for more slasher horror kind
Yeah.
of things. Now they're sort of
Yeah.
expanding. It's becoming sci-fi. Now
Yeah.
we've got some sci-fi and dark comedy.
Yeah.
Uh,
a
so-
bit family friendly.
This is family friendly as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Minus the gore and the
Minus-
violence.
Minus the go.
it's not that
It's not
gory
as
though.
No, that's why I was a bit disappointed. I was hoping
Ah.
I
for
think the first one was more.
Yeah.
gory.
First
Yeah,
one would
it's-
have been more gory.
First one was more of a slasher.
Yeah.
Slasher.
I was missing all the gore. I'm
I didn't
where's
like
all the blood.
blood. Well,
So there you go. That's our review of Happy Death Day to You, which leads us to our next bit of the show, which is...
Oi, apa liat-liat? Apa liat-liat? Hoi, 看什么看？
Apa liat-liat? Apa liat-liat? 你看什么看？
Apa liat-liat? See what see? 小了。
Yep, that's right. It's Apa Liat Liat. It's been a couple of weeks. We have not had one. Del, Apa Liat Liat, what have you been watching?
well, this morning I did a double feature of Creed and Creed 2.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
So you're all Creed out now.
Yeah.
How was it?
And then I ended up with going to a boxing class in the afternoon. That's how good it was.
No, Creed 2 was amazing.
No, Creed 1 was better.
No, Creed 2 was better.
Creed 1 made me tear up a few times. Even this morning.
I know what it is. Creed 2 is a better legacy film.
I don't know. Creed 2 just didn't have the feels for
The-
me.
Okay.
I didn't feel what I felt for the first one.
Can't spoil it for
Um,
anybody.
No, I don't know. It's just, it can't be because I just watched Creed 1. Maybe I just watched Creed 1 is still so good. So Creed 2 was a little bit of a letdown. It didn't focus that much on the Rocky and Creed relationship or Adonis relationship. So I think that's what's missing for me because it's more of a Adonis journey this time with him and also his new wife and the kid. But then Rocky came in the end. I don't know. I didn't feel it.
You didn't feel it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dale's a hard man. to
That's what I
please.
was meant to
Really?
please.
Yes.
I don't think so.
Let's see if you are as hard to please. Kai, Apa Liat Liat.
So I also watched Creed 2,
There you go.
and I think it's better than Creed 1. because it really does a lot of callbacks to the saga. Creed 1 was written as like a breath of fresh air. Like, there's not going to be much connections to the overall Rocky saga. So when you watch Rocky Balboa, which is Rocky, like the last Rocky film,
Last one.
and then you watch Creed 1, there's a bit of a disconnect.
Yeah.
Because this story is told from Adonis's perspective only. But with Creed 2, a lot of the things that we liked about Rocky Balboa and the Rocky saga have been referenced and brought back. So I thought it worked better as a legacy addition to the saga. There were some, I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but there were so many callbacks to Rocky Balboa and the saga that when I was watching with my friend who's a huge Rocky fan, we were like, if I was given the chance to make a Creed movie, this is how I would do it. With a love letter to the overall, like
To what set this up. Right? Yeah.
Because with Creed, my biggest problem was they gave Stallone cancer.
Yeah.
Rocky Balboa had cancer.
He's dying.
He had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, I think.
Yeah.
And I was like, no. Just even at that point, I was like, I'm not buying this. So
Really?
I liked the fact that Creed 2 kind of made him a bit stronger, and there's a lot of Creed 2 is good. I don't know. I really enjoyed it.
Okay, so both of you watch Creed, which moves on to Naz, apa Liat Liat?
Alita Battle Angel.
Nice.
I also watched that. Yeah.
Oh.
How was it?
Okay. I thought that Alita herself, like the animation for her was really good.
Yes.
Like how she moved, how
Yeah.
her facial expressions, and she's so cute.
No.
But I didn't like how draggy the
Yeah.
movie seemed. I think it seemed episodic. Like when they moved to another scene, it seemed like another episode.
Yeah.
So I think it's because like what is it? It's from a manga.
From
It's
the
from a
manga,
manga.
and then
Yeah.
there's like an anime series.
Yeah, so I think it's because of that. Like they didn't really deal with the transitioning well. I thought there was lack of chemistry between the characters, especially
Yeah.
like the father and even the guy she's interested in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who turns out to be like a middle level bad guy, and then he sort of shifts in
Yeah.
and becomes good again.
Yeah.
After he becomes a cyborg.
Yeah. And then I didn't like his decision making as well towards the end. Like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
I
What's
hate you
wrong with
so
you?
much. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But I thought she was cool and I loved the battle scene.
But overall, like, is it something that you would recommend, or are you looking forward to watching the sequel, which is happening for sure?
Yeah, I want to watch the sequel because I want to see what happens to Nova, who is the ultimate bad guy in
Yeah.
the
He's up in Cloud City,
yeah,
and he's
Cloud
just
Cloud
in
City.
Zaphem.
well, I'm calling it Cloud City.
Zalem,
It
Zalem.
essentially is Cloud City.
Yeah,
I just don't understand. There's so much love for this movie. I don't think it deserved that much.
Okay,
Yeah.
Del. No, I'm with Del on this one.
Yeah.
I watched it a couple of weeks ago, and I don't know. I was like, okay, she's a robot, and then she's like a soldier, and then she's like
She's
roller
from
skating,
Mars.
and then like the dude who's very miscast in my opinion.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
Like, he's just like, but I love you, robot, and robot's like, I love you too. And then like, they're-
Why is there an Irish?
I
I
don't know.
told you to.
And then they're climbing the
I
thing.
don't think they said that.
Yeah, and then they're like climbing like the structure to go to Zapam, and then
Yep.
sorry, Zalem.
Zalem,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then there's like these big metal gears that eats away, and then suddenly she's not as strong because she can't carry him.
I don't know.
Because he's breaking apart.
No, I thought she could control her body or
I
something.
don't know. Like, I get it conceptually. Okay, so this is produced by James Cameron, who's producing like 4 of the best movies in the next 10 years. Avatar 2 to 5. But I don't get it.
You don't get it.
I don't get it. No.
It doesn't matter. We did our review here on the Wayang Crew podcast. You can check back on what we thought about this movie. It was okay.
Yeah, it was okay.
All right, which leaves me, and I watched the movie this morning, and I was very thoroughly entertained, and I do understand what the hype is all about. I watched Green Book.
Oh, nice.
It's a good movie. It's such a good story. It's very heartfelt. It goes through the journey of this guy who is an Italian immigrant, and he's, kind of like a mob guy, mobbish, although he's not part of a mob. And then he has like 2 months of no work, and he has to drive this musician across the country. And for some odd reason, they're driving through the deep south of America, where this is a period of time in the 60s where segregation was still in place and coloreds could not eat in the same restaurants with whites, and there was all these things, and it's a journey for these two where they learn about each other and themselves, and it's based off a true story, and I recommend that everyone go and watch this. This is it nominated for anything?
Best Picture. I think.
Yes.
Best Picture,
Right?
Best supporting, best actor as well, isn't it?
For Vigo, I don't think so.
Vigo? No.
I don't think so.
Okay.
No? Yeah.
Can't remember.
So if you haven't checked it out, do check out Green Book. It's out on digital. Yeah, so that's the episode this week on the Wayang Crew podcast. We may not have an episode next week because we will be very busy in the upcoming week for our biggest show ever, which is happening on March the 1st, 2019. It's the Brouhaha headliner show where all of us in this room are performing. So if you haven't got your tickets, too bad because they're sold out.
They're sold out.
But yeah, we'll see you on the next episode of the podcast. We'll try to have one next week from us here at the Wayang Crew. I'd like to thank all my co-hosts, Del, Kai, and Naz for joining me. And we'll see you on the next one. Bye!